Welcome to Complete Guitar Lessons. I'm Brad Allen. I'm a professional musician who's also spent over 10 years teaching private guitar lessons. And now I'm doing my best to pass along all that knowledge to you. Today we're going to be learning to play Jingle Bells on the guitar. I'm going to show you two different versions. The first version is just a sing and strum version, kind of for beginners. And then I'm going to show you kind of more of an intermediate version. This is going to be a really rocked up version. It's going to be kind of like Chuck Berry would play it. And so if you don't know how to play that way, this is a chance for you to learn a little more advanced technique or an intermediate technique that you can use on some other songs as well. Before I forget, I want to thank you all who have subscribed to my channel. The channel keeps growing and it's very exciting for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos. I'm releasing these on a regular basis and I don't want you to miss any of them. Okay, key of G, so we're starting on G. Dashing through the snow, stay on G, in a one-horse open sleigh. That's C, A minor, o'er the fields we go, D7, laughing all the way, back to G. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. C, A minor, what fun it is to D7, ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. G, we go to the chorus. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. C, oh what fun it is, back to G, to ride in a A7, one horse open, D7, sleigh, hey, back to G. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. C, oh what fun it, G, is to ride in a D7, one horse open sleigh. So that's the first, the first verse and the chorus, and then it just does that over and over and over. So that's a very basic strum. We're just doing quarter notes. One other thing that I wanted to mention is I do have the chords and the lyrics to Jingle Bells on my site. They're available as a free PDF download. Just go to my site, completeguitarlessons.com. I've got a link in the show notes below, and that way you can kind of follow along as we do the lesson. You know, if you want to make it just a little bit more advanced, a little bit more interesting, go a little faster here, I might use this strum. Eighth note strum, dashing through the snow, in a one-horse open sleigh. A minor, o'er the fields we go, D7, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. A minor, fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. So you get the idea. If you want to be just a little more advanced, what I like to do, and what usually surprises the crowd a little bit, I really rock this up and do it kind of like Chuck Berry would do it. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you've never done this, it's going to be a little bit new for you. We're going to start with power chords. And if you don't know your power chords, you can go to a couple of my earlier videos. I'm going to assume for just a minute here that you know power chords. So if I start on G, that's our power chord shape, you know, and then I'm going to go down to C. For A minor, you're just going to play an A, D. You don't need to worry about the D7, you just play a D power chord, and back to G. Those are your four chords. We're going to use a little bit different fingering though. Instead of using these two fingers, I'm going to give you a close-up here, and I'm going to show you something just a little bit different here in a different strum. So what you want to do here is instead of using fingers 1 and 3, you want to use fingers 1, and 2. Again, if you've never done this and it's difficult, it may take some practice. Instead of starting on G on the 3rd fret, you may want to start up the guitar ways till you get used to playing those power chords, you know, with fingers 1 and 2, just because it's a little bit of a stretch. It's easier on the electric guitar. You know, it's a little harder on the acoustic guitar, but it can be done. I do it all the time. Getting back to G, I have the 1st finger here, the 2nd finger here in the power chord shape. So it's on the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. And then what you do is you stretch over, you skip a fret. I go all the way over to the 7th fret. That's actually, this is 1 and 5 of the chord. That's a power chord. And this is, I'm adding the 6th. So I hold these 2 fingers down and I play like this. And that's typical for many songs. A lot of Chuck Berry songs. If you listen to the Georgia Satellites, Keep Your Hands to Yourself, it's the same basic idea. And I just move through the power chords like that. So here's G. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. There's C. Then over to A. O'er the fields we go, and laughing all the way. So that's what you do. Now if you want to go faster, it's going to go like this. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Now I'm going to give you a chance to take a look at this right hand. Most of the time when I strum, I use a down-up stroke. So if I was playing that rhythm with a down-up stroke, it would sound like this. You could do that, but I don't like that sound and feel for this particular pattern, so I use down strokes. So it's just dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Basically like that. And again, to get the counting on this, just to make sure you got the counting right, it is, I'm going to show you a simple version first. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So your pinky's coming down on 2 and 4. Those are quarter notes. Now if I do eighth notes, and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm just playing a steady pattern with that right hand of eighth notes, keeping the 1st and 3rd finger down and bringing the 4th finger down on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you go to switch chords, you might have a little pause between there. As long as you keep that right hand going, keep the rhythm going, you're fine. 2, 3, 4. It's okay to pause, maybe play a quarter note in between to switch chords. Now when you first start learning this, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit of a stretch. It may hurt your hand just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Start farther up on the guitar if you need to. Practice it there. Might take you a few days, might take a week before your hand kind of gets used to that. But eventually your hand gets conditioned to that and it gets easier all the time. That's all I got for today, and we'll see you next week.